Hi everybody, this will be part 13 of the character rigging tutorial series. In this video we're going to talk about painting the skin weights for the torso moving up, and then we'll move to the arms and the rest of the body. Last video we talked about how to paint the skin weights for the legs from the base of the pelvis. We'll come back after we do one side of the body and mirror it over to the other side of the body as well. But this video we're going to move from the pelvis upwards to the spine and then the neck, and then we'll stop and do the face in another video as well. So this is something that is going to be kind of a continuous motion, continuous refinement. As we get to the arms, we'll have to come back and make some refinements to the spine as well. So this video we're going to come through and paint the skin weights for the torso. So let's go with the body selected, find the skin weights tool, and go up here to skin, paint skin weights tool in the option box if it's not already open for you. And I'm gonna close my hips for a second, and I'm gonna click on spine 1. So right now pelvis is the main joint of the body, that's the root joint, and then spine 1 is this joint right here. So I do want to create my range of motion, move this up some, my range of motion test animations for this spine joint. So if I take the timeline, put it on frame 0 or 1, whatever your first starting frame is, and with this joint selected, let's hit the S key. And I'm going to go about 30 frames forward, and we will rotate the body forward. I don't have the skin weights adjusted for it, so we're going to fix that now. We'll go to 30 more frames and rotate our body backwards. And then we're going to go copy our frame 0 back over, maybe 20 frames. We'll rotate the body towards the side. 20 more frames, we'll rotate the body to the other side. And then we'll copy our default pose back over. And then we're going to do side to side twist. Okay, so that means this way, and then we'll twist the opposite way. So we'll go that way. Okay, there we go. All right, so that should give us a good starting point for the range of motion of what this spine joint can do here. All right, so with our brush tool, I'm going to put a value of 1, and we're going to go find our spine 1 again. Let's close our hips, spine 1. And we're going to flood all of this area upwards with a value of white. So some of the areas in the mouth or whatnot may not easily go with it. I'll try to do a quick kind of pass here. Do the arms. There you go, get all that in there. If it doesn't pull all the fingers, that's fine. What I do want to make sure is that it does get the torso how I want it to, upwards of this first spine joint. Okay, so I can kind of try to flood the arm over here. The arm isn't really going to matter because the spine joint is not going to affect this arm, but it will look kind of weird if it's not kind of moving the rest of the body as we intend it for. But there will be some spikes. If I scrub my timeline, you can see there's a bunch of spikes over here that need to be corrected as well. But technically that's okay because we will correct those spikes as we get to those individual other body parts as well. So really what I'm looking for is to watch what the spine does around this joint. Okay, so let's lower our brush size, and we'll paint a value of 1 for this loop right above the joint. So this is the joint, so the loop is right above that I'm painting right now. And I am going all the way around, but we're going to use the mirror tools, so you can only focus on one side of the body if you want to, and always focus on the left side, mirror over to the right side. So that way it's bending the torso how I want to. We just need to blend that loop underneath that. So let's put a value of 0.1 now, and then drag over the next loop down. There we go. So that way, I'm just going to worry about this left side right now. It's going to blend with the loop underneath that. And I probably want to do maybe a value of 0.1 here. And then we undo that and I'll show you. You can actually do a value of 0.05, even lower than that. So it's going to blend even lower. There we go. So now we'll see a little bit of motion there. I need to add some more weight to this center loop here, so that way it will not look like pieces of paper as it's bending. Getting there. Okay, let's look at it when it bends backwards. Yeah, it's too much like a piece of paper now. There we go. So this is probably around 0.4 or 40% bending, this vertex. Now we also have to understand that this joint is never going to rotate by itself. It's going to be a continuous spinal rotation. So maybe I'll add a little bit more as we go to the back on the sides here. But that looks pretty good. Let's try out the other angles. Kind of pinching too much here. So what I might can do is go up to spine 2. Or back to pelvis. Let's go back to pelvis for a second. And blend that back a little more so it's not kind of crunching that too much. There you go. Then you go back to spine 1. Got a little bit of weird pinching and stuff going on here. So if you look at my pelvis, it was kind of, there's some areas up here that I missed. So if I go back to spine 1 with a value of 1, kind of correct all of that out. If I go back to pelvis, it's not going to affect those areas anymore. I'm really only going to worry on about the left side of the body. Whoops. So maybe with a very low amount, 0.05 and whatnot, can blend a little bit of pelvis motion back to it. There you go. So it'll kind of blend that a little more so it's not pinching as much. It's a pretty good start. All right, so now we can work our way up. So we're going to take our keyframes off of spine 1, make sure on frame 0. Right click on Translate, Rotate, Scale, and Visibility and choose Break Connections. And then we'll move up to the next joint and do range of motion for that joint as well. So we're going to do keyframe S key on frame 0. 20 frames later, we're going to rotate to the side. 20 frames later, we'll rotate the other side. There we go. We'll copy our default pose back over. 20 frames later, we're going to rotate forward. 20 frames later, we're going to rotate backwards. Okay. And we'll copy over frame 0 again. And then we'll do side to side twist. So twist this way. And rotate the other way, twist that way. There we go. All right, so there's our range of motion for spine 2. Select our body. Go back to our paint skin weights. Let's roll up our hips. So this is going to be spine 2 now. Spine 1 has the weight on there. Spine 2 does not. So we can repeat the commands. We can add a value of 1. This is going to be from this joint up. So we want all of this weight kind of going up. I'll slowly add the weight of the arms just to get a preview there. The back here, head, all of that. Okay, there we go. Not necessary for that arm, but so basically I'm only just looking at this area in the middle here. But if like those weird areas of the arm cause a problem, then you can make your blending adjustments from that. So that's a pretty good start. Now I just need to go back with a value of 0.1 and a smaller brush and blend some of these other positions here. So let's add some more blend in there. Okay, we'll keep rolling around. There we go. Go back. Yeah, so stretching it too much, so we'll try to blend this up a little bit more. There you go, that looks pretty good. Bend it forward so it's not affecting this area much at all. So we need to add some more weight. Gotta correct that. We'll add a little bit there. Okay, so we'll probably never push this joint, you know, this far. Okay, we'll probably push it that far in the connection. There you go, that's pretty good. And I'm just looking at this torso area right here. All right, so that's the next spine. Let's come in here and remove the keyframes for this spine too. Right click on those attributes and choose break connections. And we're going to move up to this next spine joint. I'm really not going to be using this for a key animation standpoint. So I'm not going to do range of motion for this joint. But for what I need to do is just paint the center of the body here. And then we'll come back with the collar and the shoulder and correct all of this. So this spine 3 is really going to affect a value of 1. The center line right here, we move in. Maybe I'll move out a little bit. Some of this will be corrected more. And then from the center line on the back to kind of out there. And then I can blend with the value of 0.1. I can say, well, blend all of this around. Add a little weight there. Add a little weight here. But this is really for the center spine 3. I'm not really going to be using this as animating the character. Maybe a little bit, but through the rest of the motion we will correct the shoulders and everything. Okay, maybe we'll blend up to that loop right there. Kind of see it going all the way around. So that's not really going to be a primary joint that we're going to rotate. Blend it a little more. There you go. So something like that. And when we mirror it over, this side will look the same as the other side. All right, so we'll come back to the arms in the next video. Let's go ahead and do the neck. So we'll roll up our arms. There's our neck. So neck 3 is this joint right here. And we're going to repeat the same process. We're going to take this joint and we're going to create some range of motion. So we'll do keyframe on 1 or 0. Rotate it forward. Rotate it backwards. Copy 0 over to 60. Then we'll rotate it side to side. There you go. So you do want to test out all of the major motions. So that way when we're painting the keyframes, you can have a good basis of what potentially the character's body part's going to do in major positions. So that should be all of our motions here. There you go. All right, paint skin weights. We're going to add a value of 1. Let's see if we can go ahead and kind of paint on the entire head now. Correct those weird spiking for the head. So at the neck, we'll move the entire head inside the back of the ears. And all of that stuff so that won't look weird when we are trying to do our test here. All of that up into the nose. Make sure we get inside that ear as well. And work our way down to the neck joint. So the neck joint we're painting is this one right here. So we're going to go ahead and get kind of all of these going around. There we go. I'm going to try to get inside the mouth so we can go ahead and knock inside the mouth out as well. Go. So we would really keep repeating this until we get the entire head kind of blocked out with the skin weights as well. Everything is white and everything is going to animate properly here. We have some inside cavity of the eyes. See if I can just do a manual paint there. I'm going to turn off my eyeball geometry. So that way you can see inside here a little easier. There's all of that. Try to get this other eye as well. Probably still going to have some spikes. Try to correct as much as I can. Alright, so now with the neck If I rotate this, yeah, so I got some spikes wherever those are. Looks like the mouth area, underneath the mouth or something. So sometimes you just have to get a weird little angles in here in order to see where those issues are. There they are right there. I'm inside the mouth. It's kind of hard to see when everything is white, but I am inside the mouth there. There you go, pretty good. Got one little spike, see if we can grab right here. There you go. All right, so that neck is gonna affect the entire head area. That's pretty good. Not too bad. We would then want to come back with that neck with a value of 0.1, smaller brush size, and come correct these smaller little blends that we need to do here. Now really my shirt would probably rotate a little bit as it is animating as well. So it's not stretching too much. So we'd want to come in here and try to blend this a little more with how that geometry is connecting in those small little areas. So the issue is that you just gotta get really close to paint those small little areas in there. Adding some more weight there. There you go. So that way, just that small little area, you can start to see it's moving those vertices some. There you go. We just gotta keep blending. All right, so I'm going to pause the video and correct the rest of the skin weights because it could take some time. Then I'll come back and finalize these two joints and show you what the skin weights look like for those areas. Okay, so I've corrected, refined the skin weights for the neck area, and I'm just going to review some of that. Some of the stuff just takes some time to blend it all back together. So there's spine 2 that I went back and corrected some. I went back and actually adjusted spine 3 as well a little bit more to blend it. And then moving up, here is neck 1. So it's really white, a value of 1 in the middle, and then I blended it out to about a 0.1 or 0.3 on the top and the bottom of that. There's neck 2. It's a very similar method. Very light in the middle, but it gets darker and darker. So probably about a value of 0.2 as it reaches further out. Same thing with neck 3. And then I flooded the head from about the chin area to the back of the head underneath the ear with a value of white. So when I go and try to rotate these, one other thing to note is that just like the torso, the spine, these neck joints will never rotate individually. So they might rotate, you know, a little bit 5 or 10 degrees individually. But what's going to happen when we animate this is I'm going to select neck 1, 2, and then 3. And I'm going to be rotating all 3 at the same time. So I'm going to rotate all 3. I have a little bit of pinching on the side there, but overall it's pretty good. If I rotate it side to side, that's pretty good there as well. I have a little bit of pinching going on of where the shirt meets the skin. So still got some refinement to go back through and correct that. But overall, it's a good blending to start this motion. So that'll wrap up this video showcasing the spine from the pelvis to the spine 1, spine 2, spine 3, neck 1, neck 2, neck 3, the head. And then we will come back in a later video and refine the jaw, the eyes, and the arms as well. So we'll also do mirroring as one of our last standpoints after we block out all the main skin weights. So that'll wrap up this video.